Okay, so one of the things about me, guys, or whatever, and I think this is just all true chosen ones. We're foreign to this land. Our soul is foreign to this land. So people don't understand us, and people who are not at the light are gonna automatically envy people like us. Ever since I was younger, or whatever, and I didn't understand it then. It's like I understand it now. Truth, like I talked about this before on my page, like evil people, people who are demonic, people who are of darkness. When you're in darkness and when you have a dark demonic spirit in you, it shows up in your face or whatever. Certain facial expressions. It's not just in your eyes. Like I said before, most of the time in the past, when people say wicked people, it shows up in their eyes. They automatically think black eyes because that's what those scary shows show or whatever, or movies that show people with either all white eyes or all black eyes or something like that. It's not. It's about the eyes because certain eye movements or whatever, or certain ways people can facial expressions, they can look very deceptive sometimes. And this is an article I shared from somebody else or whatever on my page. They were saying people with the Jezebel spirit, you can tell they what type of spirit is in them, or you can tell you can tell the Jezebel spirit is in them in certain pictures that they take. Remember, men and women can have the Jezebel spirit, but Jezebel, from what I've learned and what I've seen, the different characteristics of people who have it, and when they take a picture, they'll smile and they'll be like a real deceptive type of cunning smile or whatever, if that makes any sense. It's like they'll look like a serpent, they'll look deceptive, they'll look evil or whatever. And it's like some of the stuff that I say or whatever, it's only like highly spiritual people or people that are actually connected to God will understand it. Other than that, people are kind of like, what do you mean you can tell a spirit is in somebody on the picture or whatever? It's just like, look at the characteristic traits of someone, or just kind of like look at when they smile on pictures, or just look at how they look. The evilness will show up on their face. Just like people who are of the light, they have a certain, no matter how old you are, when you have the light, don't matter your past, when you are truly connected to God or whatever, and usually chosen ones are always chosen ones, they were just lost in sin and didn't know who they are. They have a certain innocence about them, a pureness in their eyes or whatever. The way they talk, their mannerisms, it's like you can just tell it's pure intentions. There's a reader or whatever, you lied on me, it is what it is. I'm not really finna harp on that or whatever, even though it kind of upset me, but that's your judgment or whatever, that's your karma. And even if you want to sit up there and play games, and I'm not even finna get in it. She has some good messages, but when people purposely lie on good people or whatever, just purposely lie for no reason, just to be snarky or just to be silly or just to make themselves feel like they better belittle a person, what it does to me is like, I take what you say kind of here and there. It's like I gotta kind of question everything you say. Because if you purposely lied on me and I know I'm a good person, I did nothing to you, and you did it out of spite, jealousy, envy, just to be ugly, whatever, it makes me go back and be like, well, if she lied about that, what else did she lie about or whatever? If she lied about this and that or whatever, she gives helpful advice, but the fact of the matter is, like, I still gotta question everything you say. So we'll just say that, and you purposely did it. But she said people are listening, and this is a general reading, and said that they're starting to tell who's the difference or whatever between who's really righteous and who's not, even if they don't say anything. But my thing is, and like I said, I agree with that, but God will place a messenger. I'm going to emphasize it. God will place a real true messenger or whatever, who he's really speaking to give messages. And when you hear that person speak, and you know you'll know the truth or whatever, if you truly know God and you connected to God or whatever, you can feel the purity and the sincerity in the way that person speaks. So when you hear other people that's sitting up there playing a game, whether you're just trying to play a game and preach about God just to get money out of subscribers or whatever, or whether you're just sitting up there just putting on or whatever for the people will truly be able to tell who's anointed, who's chosen, and who's not. That's why I said when people talk, ask yourself if God was sending right next to that person, regardless if they say God gonna bless you if you give me this money, God gonna just look at the characteristic traits of that person and ask yourself, do you really think God is giving messages to that person? Do you really think God is anointing that person regardless of what they have? Remember, the devil portrays himself as God too, and he gives his followers things too, but it's just only temporary or whatever. So that's why I said it's the reason why I keep going or whatever, because I'm urged to keep going or whatever, because it's bigger than just the messing with my account or whatever, and I just want to help people. But it's like certain people, it's like all my life or whatever, all my life I've dealt with silly stuff where people know you kind of like have or an empath, or rather, even if they don't know that it's empath, when people see purity in you and niceness and they look at you as kind of like sensitive or whatever, it's like they take that up. Evil people, only evil people, not everybody, but they take that up on themselves and try to throw shots. All my life I've dealt with little snarky, sarcastic comments for no reason. And I'm sarcastic too or whatever when I'm teaching or whatever, that's in my nature. But I just don't see people. I would never see anybody online. Now let's just say I'm a Christian or whatever, even though I'm not. But let's say I'm a Christian, I go to church every Sunday or whatever, and I see somebody online speaking, and just me, if I saw somebody like me online, I'm not going to, even if I'm a Christian, I go to church every Sunday. If I don't agree with what they saying, I'm not going to agree. I might watch a little bit, but if I strongly disagree with what they're saying, you can't force anybody to believe what you believe. That's when it becomes demonic. I don't meet people. Sometimes when I meet people, I might mention my channel if the conversation goes, or I'd be like, look, but I'm not going to be like, what religion are you? Are you a Christian? Are you a Catholic? That's not the right religion or whatever. You need to look at my page. This is what it's like. That's not how God is. It's like I'm forcing you to believe what I want to believe. I don't even really like talking about that, because if people don't believe what I believe, we don't mesh well or whatever. I'm just being honest. I don't hate you, and I don't even like really to debate with people, because it's kind of like, I don't mind, but it's like I just don't really. I just believe that you should kind of, now that I'm awakened, you should just kind of get with like-minded people. Because other than that, it's like I'm not going to sit up there and argue with somebody about a pastor being fake or what I think about COVID-19. That is your opinion. Just like I have my opinion, regardless if they're channel messages or just my opinion in general, or things that I've studied. People are allowed to have separate beliefs or whatever. It becomes demonic when you start, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just like if people were just every day talking about tarot readers are devils, or psychics are devils, or earth angels are really, if people were just down talking every day, I'm not going to go to it and turn my nose up or do magic on them to try to make them believe what I believe. That's demonic or whatever. I don't even see how people can do it. It's like, it's certain things I just be hearing. Like talking about people don't agree with the, people have their certain beliefs about tarot readers and stuff. And you can look at certain tarot readers and tell some of them are of the light and some of them are of the dark. Some of them talk to demonic spirits or whatever, even if they're not sitting up there talking about Lucifer and they're reading, they're talking to demonic spirits. Some talking to ancestors, and some are talking to angelic beings. But it's like, if I don't agree with something like that or whatever, and most of the time, especially if you're dealing with readers that are reading the real raw truth, most of the time people don't really agree with it because they're telling the truth. I don't agree with petty readers who read out stuff that they shouldn't read out. Certain things like that, an angelic being isn't talking to them, or that they should hear it and not say it out loud unless it's like a real person or reading, or just certain things like people, like certain things like if a reader is reading, oh, this person gives good HEAD, and when she gets oral sex, she doesn't scrape the teeth, or just like silly stuff that an angelic being isn't telling you that or whatever. Even if it's just the ancestor, what type of ancestor would tell you something like that? And even if they did, it's like, why would you even say that out loud in a general? It's like you're not supposed to be really talking about sexual stuff if you're a true chosen person of God, but you sitting up there talking about God and you're anointed and stuff like that, and you're an earth angel, and discrediting me and saying I'm not an earth. That's why I said people just do silly stuff or whatever. In these times or whatever, you're gonna have to be able to really just distinguish between the two, who's a chosen person and who's not, and stop looking at the material and stuff like that. Because what I realize what they try to do is they try to discredit a real person, a real messenger that's the truth, and try to make it seem like, oh, nobody's listening, or they already know that they're doing something with my account, keep taking the views back, doing silly stuff, and making it seem like all these false, fake people or whatever that's misleading the masses and that are evil, demonic people. Not every single person, but a lot of them trying to make it seem like they just living it up and that's the type of stuff that they do or whatever to distinguish people away from the real truth. That's why you have to learn how to use your own discernment, and you have to be a judge, and you have to be able to look and see, do I think God is really speaking to this person? I got on that girl or whatever, the one with the who always be doing that silly stuff. I told you she likes to poke the bear, and she's not a real empath, and I'm telling you not, because real empaths don't do that. It's like she does stuff, and sometimes I'll get smart and say something back in the past, but it's like she just does little stuff. You know those little definitions I put on my page? She'll do something on her community board, say something. Like one time she said something about propaganda, and then put the definition of propaganda, and she just like, but she'll never direct it directly to me or whatever, but she just does like little silly stuff or whatever, talk about the Most High, and every time she comes on, it's like the Most High is this, the Most High is that, and sitting up there talking all about God and stuff like that, but you got your titties out or whatever. And there was somebody, and she been doing that, other readers have been called that out or whatever, and I just never say nothing because it's like it wasn't really directed at me or whatever. Then I used to always post on my page, and I said something about magic over my channel or whatever, and they doing something with my channel, and then she came right on, because remember I used to always post there every time she made a post or whatever. I was like, man, she's a good speaker or whatever. She had an accurate reading one time that matched with me, and she came on and was like, these karmics, there's no magic over their channel. Like, but then that's the reason why I said she has, and I'm not really gonna say a name or whatever. I would, but I don't, in the end of the day or whatever, it's like, you're being judged and you're gonna be judged or whatever. You know the truth. I don't care. I'm not really finna go back and forth. I don't look at her channel no more. I'm not doing it no more. But it's like she does certain things, and then you'll say something back, and she'll be like snake bees, and people got inspired by you, and blah 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 blah, and they want to turn on you, and blah blah. It's like only a Jezebel, only a demonic evil person would do something like that and try to do something, poke the bear, and make it seem like another person is against. She does it constantly to different readers or whatever. Sorry, I'm on my way to work and my bus came. But anyway, so yeah, it's this girl or whatever. Like, when I kind of got frustrated a little bit sometimes I get frustrated with the account or whatever, because it's like, yeah, the messages are bigger than the views all showing up, but in general, it's like if you working for something and you trying to have a career in that or something like that, it's like you still want to get what's real or whatever. You don't really want nobody controlling it or whatever. So I get kind of frustrated, and she'll do stuff. She did this to other readers too. It's another girl, for some reason she went off or whatever, her account off, and I'm not gonna really say no names, but she get on her channel, and I did it too. I went off for a little bit, and she got on her channel live, and she was like, yeah, she talks really, really fast, which all empaths do. I'm not tripping off that. But she's just very, very over the top and just false or whatever. And she'll be like, yeah, some people have been asked to leave the industry, never to be seen again. They're gone. Never. And it's like she know that certain people are watching. I'm a psychic, like I said, an intuitive psychic, just like her, but I just don't read cards. And so she'll do stuff like that, and know people are watching and poke the bear, just to, especially me, like me, if I hear somebody saying something directed towards me and I know it's wrong or fake, or I feel like a person out of line, if I see it, I'm gonna say something back. So it's like she knows it, and she likes to play off of that or whatever, or try to irritate people. So it's like, you'll get on and you'll say something, or you I addressed it on my Facebook. She just like, that's what I said, but you sitting up there acting like you a guardian angel or whatever on your channel, reading cards, talking about you chosen for the Most High and all this other stuff, just because you can read cards and read the future and stuff like that. But you sitting up there poking the bear and stuff like that. Real people, chosen people of God, don't do this. So it's just like, that's why I said in these last days you have to be like real discerning or whatever on who's telling the truth and who's not, and who's false prophets and who's not or whatever, because real chosen people of God don't do that. So yeah, like, anyway, like I was saying, I'm halfway to work, but like that ignorant guy I was telling y'all about or whatever, and I keep talking about it or whatever, because it's like, sometimes it's like, I let things go over my head, and then like sometimes people can irritate me, and I'll go back and just think about it, especially if it's recently or whatever. It's like it's a lot of fake people in this world. It is, sometimes it's like I said before, sometimes I let things go too easily, and it's just in my nature to do that. But then it's like, nah, I can't just, it's like people just say stuff, and it totally makes me look at them in a whole another different type of way. But that's why I said God, and it's another tarot reader that says this too or whatever. One thing I agree with, God cloaks people or whatever, certain people, and puts them out as like a messenger or something like that, just to see how other people will treat them, and that's people's test or whatever. That's why I said people. He'll clothe them in a way so people they'll they'll know, like people can look at me, especially since my awakening, and tell that I'm a good-hearted person, very sensitive, whatever. But I have pure intentions. I'm really nice or whatever, regardless of who thinks what, cocky, whatever. That's your own insecurity. I'm not. But like I said before, most people think high yokers are rude, but we're not. People who really know me know that I'm not a stuck-up person. But it is what it is. But it's kind of like God will do that, and it's like when you put a real genuine person out amongst people who are evil and demonic and fake and false, it's like their true character will come out, their true character will show or whatever. That's why God gives certain people certain messages or whatever. It's like certain messages that I'm giving is like and I'm not saying nothing like other people don't have good messages and nothing like that, but I'm saying certain spiritual messages, like when it comes to explaining God and how he thinks and this and that, and this is why this, and you're explaining like biblical stuff, not just with the Bible, but real spiritual stuff or whatever. It's like the only way that you can get certain messages like that is because you have a pure heart. The reason why he gives certain people certain messages and really chooses certain people or whatever is because that he knows that their heart is pure. It's like if he gives certain messages to certain people, like that little ignorant guy was telling you about, it's like, can you imagine God giving him certain messages like I'm saying or whatever? When you see how he is, he just throws shots and stuff like this. See what type of person I am. That's why I said, and I'm learning different levels of narcs and stuff like that. It's different levels of narcissists. Only narcissists do evil stuff to people and then flip it around in a manipulative way and make it think it's their fault. Remember, I've been gaslit my whole life or whatever. And different readers have said I came from a narcissistic family. It's like everybody scapegoat and blame this person and try to hide their hand and stuff like that. But it's kind of like, I'm just thinking back to what he said. But I'm trying to switch that situation around, act like he just a guy or whatever. He's an empath. He's online. He got a spiritual awakening, giving messages, telling his story. And I'm rich or whatever. And I'm married to a dude who really don't want me or whatever. He just with me, using me for my money. And I have a lot of problems in my house going on. And I get online and I'm just looking at this guy or whatever. And he seemed like he don't have that much like me. I drive a Lamborghini or with Hummer, whatever, and live in $1 million home or whatever. And I got a man that's like look like a model and kids and stuff like that. And I got stacks beyond stacks. And I'm just looking at this guy. He don't have no kids. He introverted, peaceful, being gang stalked or whatever. And they keep messing with the views, but I can just tell he a good, pure-hearted person. And I'm just sitting up there and I'm like, and I'm just say he not a perfect size that my husband is or whatever. And I'm like, shoot, what you need to do is like lose weight or whatever. I'm just looking down on him. But I know he a good, pure-hearted person and he a true messenger for God. Even if people don't want to admit that, they know that, but people can tell a real divine person when they hear them speak. That's why they'll try you like that, because it's a demonic spirit in them that's leading them to say that and do that stuff. That's why they kind of conflict with you, and you wonder why certain people look at you or treat you a certain type of way, and you know you're a good person. It's because they're demons or whatever. And demons don't like true chosen people of God. They don't like angelic beings. So anyway, I'm just trying to picture myself looking at somebody tell their story online and poke holes in it, because I'm miserable. And I'll be like, well, you know what? I'm just going to be honest. I go on my video and say, you know what? You got to really be careful what you say, and I'm saying it in a way to make me look like I'm the victim because I was going through this. This is why I came at you. Oh, well, people see you got to be careful what you say, because there's people that look at you and they see your weak ass online being open and stuff like that, and they might be having problems at home or whatever, and they can't control the situation or whatever, so they take it out on your weak ass or whatever. So maybe if you come and talk to that person or whatever, because the person is a big boss, maybe if you come and talk to that person and let them know you understand that they was going through stuff, that's why they took stuff out on your weak ass or whatever, being open and honest and vulnerable, then maybe they'll probably come and apologize to you. Only a demonic, evil devil will talk like that. And then you sit up on your platform and talk about, don't hate on the next man. God is this nigga, you fake or whatever. And sometimes I have to watch what I say or whatever, because I'm a very raw person. True people of God that are empaths, that are warriors, that are genuine people, we have a very kind nature, but we also have another side to them. Some people in certain situations will never see my other side or whatever. Like certain situations I have to control that or whatever, because you got to make a living. But in regular situations where it's like I'm not losing nothing for that, nigga, like I said before, I have to watch what I say or whatever, because it's not really too much of how I present myself to the public or what I think about what they think. It's more so of what God thinks about me. But it's like I'm a real nice person. I'm genuine. I'm nice. I don't know if people think I'm weak or whatever, but I have another side to me or whatever. And all earth angels had it. And this a lady who explained it so well. Earth angels are people that fight against demons. So in order to fight against a demon, you have to be a strong warrior or whatever. And I'm nice, and I had that God attribute in me, but I also had that warrior side where you don't fucking play with me or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I could expose, and it's a lot of stuff that I know about you or whatever. In reality, if you really want to think about it, and I'm trying to hurry up because I got to go to work, but it's like if you really want to think about it, wouldn't it make you weak to try to prey on somebody who you feel is genuine, nice, and happy with the little things they have, but you getting used by a big booty gold digger, as you say, they don't want you or whatever, and just using you for your money, and you don't know how to handle the situation, so you take it out on somebody that you feel is a nice person. That, come on, man, like I said, but then you getting donations and on your live time, my God gonna bless you. Thank you. You got, come on, man. That's how I see it. This world is lost. There's not a whole bunch of chosen ones down here. There are not many chosen ones. It's many people that God, it's not that many people that God actually speaks to or whatever. You can look around and tell people worship false gods and put the wrong people on pedestals. And I don't want to be on no pedestal. But it's just like when you're a real person and you look around and you see how fake people are, it's like people follow at times where people are looking for a leader and looking for the truth, it's going to be many false prophets that rise up and try to mislead people or whatever, but you'll be known by your fruit. So like I said, I'm not too much for kind of like debating with people. People can be ugly, people can be silly, people don't really know who you are, that's why they play with you, but it's going to show up in your life or whatever, even if it's been a long time. Anytime you try to mess or come against a divine person, a good-hearted person, a real chosen person of God, you're going to receive strong, harsh judgment for that. God gonna put you in your place to let you know, don't play with my chosen ones. Don't play with the ones that I've chosen, that I've called or whatever. So that's all I want to say for right now. I just had to kind of like get that message out.